Okay guys, in this tutorial what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to render your robot and make it look like this. This looks a little weird. Maybe we'll fix it a little bit, but this is going to be the general idea. So let's go ahead and close this out. What I have is a sphere, this plane. I go ahead and make this over again, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this stuff. I'm going to keep the lights though. The lights I'm going to keep. So go ahead and create a cube. And make it real wide. Go to face, hit go to right view, hit Control E and W. Control E, W. And we're going to rotate it a bit. Control E, W. Let's rotate it a little bit more. Control E, W. We're just going to bring it up real high. Alright, so that's good. We're going to take this one, we're going to bring it way out. And let's put the robot's feet kind of in there. Right there. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so that's good. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a sphere. And it's going to be not that big. Maybe a little higher. It's going to look like an egg. It doesn't really have to be a sphere. Okay, that's good. Just going to extend it out this way. A little bit wider so I can get in here. That's good. Okay. So now what you're going to do is we're going to throw a texture on here. The way you do that is right click, assign to material, Lambert. We're going to go to color and click on that menu, that little checker box. And we're going to go to file. And we're going to click this file. You're going to go to my public samples folder and choose what you need. I'm just going to go to my desktop. And I'm going to choose, let's do sky. Okay, now I'm going to hit 6. Now you notice you don't see it. So we have to go to mesh display and then reverse. And now you can see the sky. It's right there. We're going to make one change to it. We're going to go to UVs and then just spherical. Just make it look a little better. This is just to add some nice reflections. Okay, so that's that. This will be good. These lights here, the way you create one of these guys, can't seem to select it. We're going to go to create lights. And it's called the point light. Just go ahead and create one. And then you're going to bring it up. It's right down there. So just go ahead and bring it up. And you can hit 7 on your keyboard so you can see what the light does. Bring it out. I'm going to delete this one because I don't need it. And what you're going to do is you're going to place your lights. Just for a second, I'm going to go ahead and move the sphere over just for a minute. And you're going to grab the light right here. And you're going to go to your channel box, and you're going to put these values in. Intensity 0.4. So take a minute and do that. And then you're going to go to your attribute editor. You're going to open up the shadows. You're going to click on use ray trace. Put the shadow rays to 30. Ray depth. You could hike that up if you want. 4 or something. Whatever you want. And what else? Intensity, we're going to put 0.4, which we did. Mess around with color if you want. Did I change anything else on here? I don't think I did. Nope. Okay, now you're going to go to this one. And you're just going to change that. You're just basically going to take this one, hit Control D, and just move it over. And all you're going to do here is you're going to change the intensity to 0.2. Everything will be the same except change it to 0.2. And make sure you're using ray trace shadows. And let's put that to 30. Okay, so that's that. Now what you have to do is you have to go to Window, Rendering Editors, Rendering Settings. And make sure you're in My Software. We're not using Mental Ray for this because I'm not sure the computers have Mental Ray on them. And what we're going to do is go renderable camera persp. Presets, we're going to go ahead and go to 1280. Obviously, the higher number, the better it'll look. So 1280. Yep, that's about it. Now we're going to go to Maya Software. We're going to go to anti-alias quality. Yours might look like that. Go ahead and put high or highest. That'll make it look really, it won't have any rough edges at all. So that's easy. Go to ray tracing. Make sure that's on. You could turn reflections to 10, refractions 6, shadow 7, bias, just keep it where it is. We're not going to use any motion blur. We're not going to use any gamma correction. It'll make it brighter. We're not going to do any of that. So that's all you have to do. And then all you're going to do is close it. Bring the sphere back in if you haven't done so. There's a few things we need to do here. We're going to take this sphere, go to object mode, and if this window is not open, you're going to open it through your attribute editor, and you're going to go to render stats, and you do not want primary visibility. You can turn that off. So that's all. That's all you have to do there. Okay, and for this one, we're going to say assign new material. We're going to make it a Lambert. We're going to take the color and we're going to make it like a really slight yellow. Not like that, obviously. We're going to go ahead and make it right around there. Okay, and that's about it. The light placement should be, let me move the sphere so you could see. The light placement should be around here. And you could mess around with the placement of the lights. That'll mess around with how this thing's lit. If you want backlighting, you can put them both in the back. This is 2-point lighting. I'm not using 3-point lighting here. We're just going to keep it simple. All right. Down a little, however you want to do that. I'm just going to keep it right here. Now, what you could do here is you could go to View, Camera Settings. You do Film Gate, and this is what it's going to render at. This is how the render scene is going to look. So let's put this guy in the middle. You want to get a little side view. All right, just like that. Try not to cut them off at all. Okay, and then you can hit this button here, render. And then, your computer is going to take a little while to process this. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'll bring it back when the render is done. Okay, the render is almost done. It took probably 5 minutes or more to render, and you could tell by looking at this how slow it's going. I do have an 8-core processor, but an old one, so it struggles a bit to get the render. Just give it a minute here, and we'll finish up the render, and it looks pretty good. You'll notice that there's no jagged edges at all on this. The reflections look really good, so it looks good. I'm really pleased with the way this render looks. The only thing I'd say is that maybe rotate a little bit, and also that this is catching shadows. It's called the infinity plane. You probably don't want that to catch a shadow, so I'm not going to save that. What you should do is two things you should do here. Is you should mesh smooth this. Okay, smooth that. Okay, the other thing you should do is click here, and it shouldn't receive or cast shadows. It should just be there to bounce the light around. The other thing I'm going to change is the anti-aliasing, because it took so long to render. And I'm going to change the angle a little bit. And I'm also going to change the angle of the claw so you can tell that he has those claw type hands. Now, you'll notice if it takes too long to render, what you might want to do is go in here and put the shadow rays down at 20. And do the same on the other one. And the other thing you could do, again, this will decrease the overall quality of your render. And you notice I also forgot to put the sphere in. So let's bring the sphere in as well. Okay, so I forgot to do all that. The other thing you probably could do is, although it looks really good, is when you go to Window, Rendering Editors, Rendering Settings, the anti-aliasing quality, you could probably get away with high quality instead of highest. That's something that you might, you could probably get away with. You could probably turn down reflections here too. Probably change it to like 5 or 6. And that should make it a little bit faster. If I give it a quick render, I'll let it go for a second just to see how it's going to look. Let's do that. So we can tell right away if it's going to be quick or not. And it doesn't look like it's going to be much faster. So I'll go ahead and pause this. I'll bring it up when it's done rendering. Yes, it's definitely still pretty slow. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. By changing the shadow depth, it's a lot quicker. So I'm going to pause this. I'll bring it back when it's done. Now you can tell this looks a lot better because there is no shadows in the back. The overall quality of the reflection didn't suffer much. You could see the reflections from the sphere here. The sky reflections on this guy. I think it looks pretty good. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. Hopefully you guys learned a lot in your first tutorial in Maya and have a better idea of how to use polygons, how to extrude, how to set up lights in an infinity plane for the render, and all that good stuff. So if you want to save this file, you can go to File, Save As. You go to File, Save Image option. We want to save the raw image. And that's it. And then we could save it as a JPEG. Just throw it on my desktop, call it Robot. Final. And go ahead and save it. There's something you might want to do. This is the gamma correction. So we could, it's going to look too bright here, but when we save it, it should look better. So